Okay, so tonight I thought we would deal a little bit with triplets, and since you're feeling sick, I'm going to just kind of summarize some things real quick, just make sure you got a good grasp of what we're doing. And basically everything is going to kind of fall within a kind of a 6/8 or a triplet kind of feel in this case. And there it is. Okay. So I had a few different things, and a lot of this is really just kind of using sequences and honestly even making your own, and some basic review stuff really, but ultimately using these things together. All right, so we're going to be using some different sweep shapes. You can kind of use any sweep shape, but you know how normally we have 2 notes, 1, 1, 1, and 2 notes. In this case, we're going to omit the lowest of the notes. So it's going to be 2 notes on the top. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we're going to start on the lower of the 2 high notes. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that shape's not exactly the most friendly to do this with, but since it's familiar, let's start with that one.
Those amps broke it again.
No problem. So notice what finger you're starting on and which finger you end on. So you should be free to, well, for me I'm ending on the pinky. So make sure you got that right in there. Because otherwise you're going to run out of fingers, right? The point is, it's not the first finger, which is very good, because then you can be like, you can kind of move through your different arpeggios like that, theoretically, you know. So these are more difficult than the shapes that I originally had in mind, but I wanted to start with the ones that you're already familiar with. All right, so, and also actually the next thing I'm going to show you after this is a completely different skill, but they actually link into each other. I'll show you that at that point. But let's move up to a different shape. Let's use the second inversion. Okay, so that's going to be the so it'd be 19 and 15, and then 17, 16, 17, the pinky would play 19. Yep, so obviously a lot more friendly to the hand. It's also less stretching, but it's just, in general, it's just, there's a lot of 1, 2, 1, 2 kind of walking with that kind of shape, so it's a little bit easier to do. All right, but with the ones that we did down there, okay, that's your kind of basic one. I would just turn it into a basic chord progression and just kind of move between the different arpeggios. You could even theoretically move between different inversions of the same arpeggio. So you could be like, all right, and so you could just kind of keep moving through them and then do like, kind of just keep moving through, you know, just pick 2 different arpeggios and go back and forth between the inversions of them. So that's kind of the basic idea. It's very simple, but what's also nice too is that by doing that, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, all right, so yeah, so if you basically kind of double up one of the notes, hit that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I kind of threw in a different one, a B minor, our same shape, the same one we do down here. I did it at 14 there too. So it's a nice way to sort of use some of the same notes. There's still a D and an F sharp, the same way in the D major. But instead of A, I'm going to use B, and that kind of makes it a B minor. So a lot of really cool kind of epic sounding stuff can come out of doing that. All right, I'm going to move down to the 7th position. Let's do the next one here. This is basically, you're kind of going back and forth between 16th notes in 6/8 and then 3/8 notes in 6/8. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. So we're kind of ascending a hexachord, but we're descending the triad of the note it starts on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 3, 1. So So let's start with just the one shape on the 5th string, 7th fret. Okay, now the picking is going to be the slightly challenging thing. As long as, I mean, the first 6 notes, there's really no mystery about what that's going to be. Down, up, down, up, down, up. The last 3, though, if you keep alternate picking, it's going to be 9 pick strokes, which is going to reverse you. I generally don't like doing that. So I end up doubling something up, or I just literally downstroke the whole 3 at the end. So it's kind of like every other subbeat is still downstroke anyway. Down, 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 down. Because I'm already doing a downstroke every other beat at that speed anyway. So for me, as long as I can stay focused to do that, I don't really have. I can just more or less keep moving steadily with the picking hand. So that's one of the ways that that I kind of do that. Sometimes I'll just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. I'll kind of do alternate picking until the end and then double up the downstroke, because it's just like one little moment of rush, rather than down, 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 down. Depends on how lazy I feel, honestly. All right, so let's try that back and forth between the 1 shape at 7 and the 7 shape at 5. 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9. All right. So that's kind of how it would be. The idea is just move between different modes of the scale. And just like with other things that we've done with shapes, just purposely kind of associate them to each other. Okay. The next thing is actually 1 string further. Okay, but this time it's almost like triplets of triplets, or triplets in 6/8, 16th note triplets in 6/8. So what we're going to be doing is going a little past the hexachord. This is like an octave plus 1 note. In fact, in a way, it's actually an octave plus 2 notes. All right, so we're going to start at the root note, same place, just for familiarity's sake. We're going to actually do 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go into whole step after that. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to slide 1 mode up. So you're actually, the highest note you're going to hit is actually the 3rd of the scale. So sliding from 11 to 12. And we're going to descend from there. So it's going to be that shape and then the other way around, the 2 shape below. It's basically the 1 shape and the 2 shape in the bottom, but we're dealing with that at the top. So and largely I'm just doing legato right now to So you have basically the same shape you started on up here in reverse. Same thing with the next one over. All right, and just going like that, 3 strings at a time, especially with legato. It's actually 1 note more than 8, which would have been like doing like, I guess like 30-second notes in groupings of 8, but it's kind of like 1 more. But anytime you want to be able to play really fast, but maybe like you're in 3/4 and can't quite keep up with the 16th notes at a certain tempo, you can just sort of superimpose triplets over it as well. Same thing with, as long as the tempo is in the right range, you can basically fill in any kind of 3 count with something like that. So even if you're just gonna, just do a quick rush like, so you can just use it as a single run in either direction, but by going up and down like that, you can also go like, so I'm kind of going from triplets into straight 8th note kind of feel. Something like that. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it's a nice way to kind of also switch between different rhythmic feels like that too. All right. Let's see. What else did we have on that one? Oh yeah. So speaking of triplets and this kind of thing as well, I wanted to return a little bit to the Hirajoshi scale as well. All right. So basically, I don't know if you remember the 2 notes, then 3 notes pattern, 5, 7, 8, 7, 9, 10. All right. So coming up with different length ascending and descending patterns. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Right there. That's basically 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just using just note replacement, hit the ring finger 1 time, hit the pinky the next time. Alright, so just something like that. That's a short one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. So I just kind of keep going another multiple of 3 out, and then an extra note. 1, 2, 3, next note, turn around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, next note, turn around. All right, so let's try that one. 7, 8, 7, 9, 10, 9, 10. Okay, so the next one would be 9 notes up and 9 notes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically just the 2nd octave. You're going to bounce off that G at the 12th fret again. Next one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That'll turn you around up at the high E there. All right, go ahead and try that one.
Up to the E or the...
Up to the high E at 12.
There's a specific rhythm pattern I should be following.
Just straight triplets. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Alright, now the last one is going to involve a tap, but you're going to do all 3 octaves plus tapping on 19. Which might be a little tough without the amp, but just give it a shot anyway. As long as you know you arrived on the beat, you're fine. That should be an accent too. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Tap 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Should be five sets of 3 up and 5 sets back.
Sorry, my brain's kind of sluggish.
No problem. The next thing I've got, you might want to wait until you feel a little bit better then. Down a 5th. Okay. The next thing, all right, this is something it's definitely a good brain challenge, but you'll probably want 24 frets for this one. The idea here is we'll start, you got to pick a place to start, which let's just start at this by default. But basically, once you complete your pattern, you either move up a 4th or down a 5th. And it's got a really interesting kind of sound. It's still sounds like an exercise after you do it long enough, but it's a real challenge to keep track of where you were or where you are. Because as you move, if you move up a 4th and then down a 5th, it's just like you moved up a 4th again, really. Because 4ths and 5ths invert to each other. So you end up getting a sound like this. Once you get down low on the fretboard like there, you're only going to be able to go up a 4th twice at that point. Because otherwise you'd have to move to the negative 1st fret, which you can't. So you have to move up 5 frets again instead of down 7. So basically it's up 5 frets, down 7, up 5, down 7, up 5. Until you can't go down 7 anymore, you go up 5 again. Twice. So I went from 1 to 6 to 11. And then that's 2. Brings you back to 7. Once you start at 7 again, you're done. That's 1. That's 1 time. That's all that. It takes all that to get there. I've done a similar thing with sweeps. Instead of just this, it actually takes on a little bit of a similar sound if instead of hitting the high octave, you just go a half step up from your high note. So it's the 5 up here, and then you do the flat 6. 1. All right, so it takes a little while to get through, but it's the same exact concept as far as just you're really just moving through the circle of fifths in reverse. You're going up a fourth, so same thing as going down a fifth. Really doesn't really matter. So I personally find it sounds a little cooler going up a fourth. Even if you go down a fifth to get to it, it's basically just sounds a little bit more dark and epic. So automatically cooler that way. That's largely it. I mean, I tried to go a little fast tonight, so I kind of covered it in half the time. But did you have any questions? Did you have any? Of course, the last thing would be to purposely try to tie these things together. So let's be like, stuff like that, you know. But that's always the key, you know. Trying to use things together is kind of the most important point. The point in all this, really, because otherwise they become a bunch of little separate things that, cool, yeah, you can do them, but they become tricks, and rather than, you know, just abilities in general. That all makes sense?
For the last thing with the sweeps, is it the same sweep pattern for the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I used the one, but you could basically do that with any kind of sweep thing. In that particular case, I used a minor flat 6 arpeggio. So 1, 3, 5 plus the flat 6.
Cool.
So, but I would definitely encourage you to try it with different kinds of arpeggios and stuff like that too, and just different intervals and stuff like that too. So you could take like the C major, like second inversion, but we'll take off the G at the bottom. So just root 3rd 5th, root 3rd, sharp 4 5. Kind of get that sort of Lydian kind of sound, the Simpsons. And move up. Kind of do that anywhere. It's basically just 7 notes, so that, you know, or you could even use some of the things that we've done before. Just it's really more about just kind of getting used to the same movement and being able to quickly do it somewhere that feels completely different on the fretboard, because the fret size, also the ability to arrive there right on a beat like that, or as close as you can, and not losing track of, you know, the flow and everything like that. So keeps you on your toes, because you also have to think about what's a fifth, what's a fourth, what's, you know, so it really, you know, so you see I'm stumbling through it too, and I came up with it. So as you see, yeah, it can be very challenging, but go ahead and do that when you're feeling a little bit better. Did you have any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, well, I'll let you go there. I hope you feel better soon. That's no fun.
I'm gonna be mad if I can't eat a lot on Thanksgiving.
Well, that's what the day after Thanksgiving's for, right? Being miserable and regretful or something. I thought that was what it's about, isn't it? It's the American tradition.
Well, it's splurge on money.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, that is true. That is the actual American tradition. I forgot about that one. That supersedes everything else. All right, well, don't get caught in any kind of stampede. Nothing's worth it.
I hate shopping, so I don't go out.
Good. There you go. I'm just going to be tucked away in another part of the East Coast, so hopefully I won't experience any of that at all.
Traffic's bad where you live, so I don't know what it's like on Black Friday. We'll want to know.
Oh, it's more evil than every other day. Everyone here wants to be in front all the time on a normal day, so they'll probably just kill you to get to the front this Friday. That's why I will release my album from far away from the internet safely. They can kill each other online.
This the most brutal kind of murder.
Yeah, for a product. My TV.
Precisely, yes.
Which is ironic, because they're not going to get to watch it after that.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, whatever. They don't need to watch any more TV. All right, well. Anyway, I hope you feel a lot better a lot sooner.
Thank
So,
you.
You're welcome. And get some rest. And I'll get this uploaded tonight. And whenever you get a chance, go ahead and dig in.
All right. Thank you.
You're
Happy
welcome.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Congratulations on your album release.
Well, thank you very much.
Friday.
Yes, thank you. All right. Well, I will see you again next week. Feel better.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.